everybody. I'm Bill Inman. I am thrilled to be back again today with Leigh Ann Pagnard, who we know internally at SmartSearch as a longtime customer and friend and advocate for our platform. And many people know in the staffing industry as a very accomplished executive who now runs her own consultancy, advises staffing companies, and she, and among many other things, include working with nonprofits and doing some great work there. But she's this week, as you might have seen in a video we did yesterday, at Staffing World, and she's attending a few pre-conference events, and she's going to be talking about one today. Leigh Ann, thank you so much for being back here with me again.
Thanks for the opportunity, Bill.
You're welcome. We have a good opportunity today to learn about the topic of the pre-conference event was build an ecosystem with confidence, technology to power your business. Obviously a critical topic. Since the pandemic, the use of technology has accelerated in every industry. Staffing is no exception to that. So can you tell us a little bit about what the pre-conference event was about?
Yeah, really, you get a whole group of people who are either highly technical or highly interested in technical things in a room. And the purpose of that was to build that community and learn from each other. But also they ran the folks through an exercise where they could build their tech stack based on the values of the company. So it kind of took it back, like take that higher view of what you're really trying to accomplish, go to your value statement, your mission statement, break that out, and then build it from there. So it was an interesting exercise, made you think differently.
So many companies should think at that level. We forget mission, vision driven companies are some of the most successful. So starting with that thesis is a great way to go. So very interesting. What did you see as far as the innovations and trends there today?
Well, it was interesting in a room full of technologists. One of the top topics was not a specific technology, it was adoption. So we had a lot of time learning from each other on, how has it worked for you? What has not worked? How do you get, we spend so much money on these technologies, but then we don't always, the field doesn't adopt them as we want them to. So how can we invest in that? So that was one key area. The second one, where I saw kind of the most innovation, perhaps because I was anticipating it too, is around the topic of communications and what communications tools do we have out there? How are we reaching out to again, build our candidate base, to find those hard to reach talented individuals, and then give them that sense of belonging? And how do we take this technology and not use it to anonymize that experience, right? Because we do want that personal touch in our industry. So we're really, right. How do we, as opposed to becoming anonymous because of technology, how do we leverage technology to differentiate?
It really is a fantastic tool for that. So the adoption side, so much ROI is lost by simply not using the tools that we have. And those that use the tools most effectively in today's technology-focused world will probably be the winners. So I know at SmartSearch, we've implemented SmartSearch University and are really taking that seriously. It's really helped our users take advantage of all of our features. So that's really an interesting topic. And communications, super important, right? Because in order to reach candidates, it's not just pick up the phone or email anymore. There's many channels to reach them. And there's so much clutter, marketing clutter, messaging clutter. Was that discussed at all today?
We didn't go into the clutter per se, but it was talking about clarity of voice and what do people actually listen to. So I guess, yes, it was mentioned kind of to the side, but what really impressed me always is the importance of texting. We spend so much time in email, but what really gets opened most always is a text that you receive. So how do you then strategically leverage messaging but not overuse it so that you get blocked, right? So there's lots of interesting work going on there.
I know, and you probably do as well. Email is one way to get a hold of you, but I tell everybody that's important to me, please text me because I'll read it immediately. So I'm sure for candidates, that's extremely valuable. I know we talked about yesterday when we met that COVID might be a topic discussed today, as it's been very impactful across the board to the industry. Was that mentioned in technology today?
Yes, many times. So, the discussion was, what are you using? What solutions are out there? Some of the folks have already built it into their software. If you have a partner like SmartSearch who assists you in development and assists and provides the ability for you to customize, as needed, or I should say more configure than customization, right? We choose to, the word configuring is always better. But when you do that, you have the ability to track and search. And some of the interesting things that I heard at my table specifically were around, hey, this is an area where we literally have customers calling us up and saying, only send me people who are vaccinated. And when you look into the law right now, that's not something that's prohibited. So it's an interesting topic for sure.
Yeah, it is. I know some of our customers at SmartSearch have asked for some configuration and then some customization, if you consider new fields, customization and some features. And we did rapidly implement just exactly that solution for them. They needed it, or they were going to have to change their business or not service clients. So super important. Well, you mentioned tech stack. Was there any other points that you wanted to mention or interesting things you've seen today?
I think one of the items that I always take away, like you get little snippets in a conversation, you're like, oh, I love the way they said that. And so there were two things that kind of followed up with each other that I love smushing them together. And it started with the concept of we often buy for Band-Aids. We make Band-Aid buys. So it's like you see one need that you have and you quick make a Band-Aid buy to fix it. But then you end up with, I would call, they mentioned swivel chair, right? So you do Band-Aid buy and you end up with swivel chair sickness because you're always moving from system to system to try and get things done properly. So I think it really pointed out how important it is to work with your vendor partners to find out before you run out and buy something, talk with them, make sure you know their roadmap. Something could be right around the corner. And if you're not communicating with your partners, not only do they not know what you need, you might not know what they have. So we have to keep that line of communications open, and you should be able to talk with your partners and ask them about their roadmap. And that should be part of your ongoing conversation. Because if your vendors don't have a vision for their future, I wouldn't want to trust my future with them. So it's that communication is very important.
Oh, I love that part, Leigh Ann. Strategy versus tactics, right? You mentioned that. Most people are simply tactical, and there's a lot of urgency, so we understand we have to make those decisions. But you're exactly right. A partner vendor in the technology space should have a technology roadmap, and that roadmap should be like at least 8 quarters, right? Because that's what they're investing in for the short term, if not longer. And staffing partners are really relying on their technology vendors to defend them, right? Defend their business model, give them the tools they need to grow, and so forth. So great insight there. I really love that. Well, I know that tonight is right before Staffing World officially starts, and we're going to talk to you about the actual event now going forward the rest of the week. And there are some great fun things, I guess, to do tonight. Some vendors are having parties, and you should be able to see a lot of old friends and make new ones. So we'll be talking with you, if I'm correct, we'll be talking with you the rest of the week about Staffing World, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. I'm loving the insights that you're giving us here, so thank you very much. Have a great time tonight. We will talk to you later in the week. And thank you so much again, Leigh Ann, for your time.
Thanks, Bill. It was my pleasure.
Yep, you're welcome. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will have more short videos like this the rest of the week, and really appreciate your time. Take care.